welcome to the Perham Show. I am here at Jean's Sports Shop in Perham, and I'm talking with Craig Swanson, who is the president of Perham Sportsman's Club. Welcome. So glad you could be with us on the Perham Show.
Well, thank you.
You got a big archery deal coming up in connection with Harvest Fest.
Yes, we do. October 3rd, which is only a Saturday and a half away, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to hold an archery days in Perham in conjunction with the Harvest Fest that's going on in town.
Okay, and that's going to be out at the Pioneer?
Out at the Pioneer Grounds.
Kind of by the golf course there?
Yeah, out on Highway 8 as you're leaving town. The Pioneer Grounds is between the golf course and the softball diamonds.
Okay.
Inside there is the old Grandview Ballroom, and there's an area we'll be set up to do an archery shoot out there.
So now the archery shoot, Craig, is you say you really wanted to add a wonderful family event. Yeah,
well, there used to be an archery shoot in town here that the Phelps family Ford put on. It was highly successful, got a lot of youth, their first exposure to archery, and some kids who were great archers came out there and shot as well. Well, we're trying to do the same thing, but also include a men's division and a women's division. So we're trying to make it a full family affair, so this isn't something Dad's going to on a Saturday afternoon, although he's welcome. But he can bring his whole family with, and everyone can get do some shooting. Well,
that's great. Now, what are the ages then? What is the youngest that you could bring out?
If they can walk or pull a string back on a bow, they can shoot. We have a couple categories. 15 and below, the cost is free. We'll provide the bows to them. Yeah, and there's a fantastic prize. There's a way they'll score this event, and there's a youth archery or youth bow that'll be the top prize. It's a Matthew Youth bow. It's a highly coveted system. So I think it'll be, there's something to go there for as well. And then the adults is 16 and older, so all the way to Grandpa.
Yeah.
And there's a women's division, and they're shooting, and that cost is $15, but that also gets them in on a drawing on a Matthews Reason bow, which is the top of the line stuff.
Wow, and, wonderful.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be really fun if a 16-year-old wins that bowl.
So, if a kid or a family is just thinking about, maybe they've never even picked up a bow before, is this something that they could watch and learn from?
Absolutely, and that's
part of it.
Yeah, there'll be some spectator opportunities, but also if you can pull a bow back, you might as well get in there and take a shot, because the bows are provided. They're great bows. The school system has these, I forget what they're called, they're a Matthews bow, I believe. They have 15 bows, 13 right-handers and 2 left-handers. We'll have all the arrows, and we'll have instruction out there. So if someone's never done it, we'll be able to kind of talk them through and coach them through, this is how you do it, and then step up and take some shots.
Well, I know this is a part of the, in conjunction with the Perham Harvest Festival, and so I know that there are things going on after that as well. Yeah,
after the archery shoot, which starts at 2 in the afternoon on Saturday, October 3rd, after the shoot at 5:30, we'll have a meal, and we're going to have a big pork roast, and that starts, we'll start selling tickets for the pork roast at 5:30. 6 o'clock we'll serve the meal. The prizes will be given away for the archery contest right at that point at 6 o'clock. And then we move on to a meal, and then
bonfire. You're going to be having
a bonfire the whole time. Thank you. Starting at 2 o'clock, we're going to light a great big bonfire. Wow. So if you're not shooting and you're waiting in line to shoot, you can sit around a bonfire, or if Dad's shooting and the kids want to roast a marshmallow, we'll have that out there. But then at 8 o'clock, Sapphire is going to play in the Grandview Ballroom, and the Historical Society will have beer and setups available. And it should be a great evening right from 2 o'clock all the way on.
And that's all out at the Pioneer Grounds?
All out at the Pioneer Grounds.
Okay, now I know that I saw Sleep at the Wheel out at the Grandview Heights Ballroom. It must have been 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a great fun place to come and hang out. Now, we've just got about, 30 seconds left, Craig, and so I'll have to have you back on the show to talk about the Perham Sportsman's Club all by itself. But is there a contact number or anything else that we've forgotten to mention that you want folks to know?
They can get a hold of any one of us that are Perham Sportsman's Club members. I'm Craig Swanson. If you have any questions, my number is 347-7926. They can call me at home, or they can catch me at work or drop me an email, which is Craig, C-R-A-I-G, at kit-masters.com. I'd be glad to answer any questions or tell you what we're all about and what we're doing.
Sounds like a great fun time. Thanks so much for being with us on the Perham Show.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. And we'll be right back. We're going to, St. Stan's is closing. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about that. Welcome back to the Perham Show. I am here at St. Stan's in Perham with Father Joe, and we're going to talk about, kind of a sad state here. St. Stan's is going to be having its final Mass on October 4th.
Yes, we'll have the final Mass at 11 o'clock, and the bishop from the diocese will be here as part of the closing Mass. And as part of that, we will have the regular Mass, but the bishop will also go around at the end. There'll be a visit to each corner of the church with the cross to remember the great joy, the great love that has gone into this church. The children of St. Henry's School will have a presentation going on about the history of what has happened here at St. Stan's over the years, the priests that have been here, the sisters who have served here, the people who have been here. So a presentation by the children near the end of Mass. And then there is a ceremonial locking of the door. Of course, it's only ceremonial because we still go in and out, but it's kind of a last thing. And then over here at the side of the church is a cornerstone placed there in 1922 in which there is a time capsule. And so we'll open that time capsule as part of that day and see what they left us.
Is that going to happen after the Mass then? I suppose you'll have some outdoor, indoor activities.
So right after the Mass, everyone files out. This door comes out, and then the bishop is the last one and closes and locks the door. Then we'll just come over here to the side and unlock the time capsule and see what we got there.
What a piece of history.
And then the meal. Of course, you got to have food. You got to have food. So the meal will be, for those who have trouble, there will be upstairs and downstairs. But if you have any trouble downstairs, we'll have tents and stuff outside. Hopefully we get a day such as this, and
wouldn't that be fabulous?
That would be great.
You talked a little bit about you'll have tents outside, and one of the reasons that we had to have this, you said you were at a juncture where a decision had to be made, and
you get to the point the building, really if you're going to keep it open long term, you need to be handicapped accessible for our clientele, for our people,
Absolutely, yes.
And the roof has asbestos shingles on it, and that's kind of an expensive disposal job. And so, the renovation part, we either had to go forward and start investing some pretty good amount of money into the building, or, the request was the bishop, would you make a decision on, if you're going to say yes, you're going to be open, then we'll go about doing that work. But, if not, the long-term plan, then maybe it's best to say so now rather than 5 years from now after we started the project.
So the joyful part is that the museum is going to take over the building. Is that correct? So we're not going to be seeing bulldozers?
Well, no, we won't be seeing bulldozers anytime soon. We are signing a letter of intent with the Friends of the History Museum, and they are going to look to find some funding for it. And if they are, it's kind of contingent on them being able to find some funding. Yeah. So if they can find funding, then it will go over to them, and they will use it as a cultural center. And that would be it's a beautiful building, yes. And it will be a wonderful place to have plays or shows or, family-friendly kind of stuff, which they have talked about doing here. So that would be a great thing.
Absolutely. Now, will I'm not sure, your parishioners here, will they... I'm sure that there are other choices.
Sure.
St. Henry's.
St. Henry's, of course.
Yeah.
It depends upon where they have family ties. Some of them are more tied in St. Lawrence or even in Butler.
Yeah.
So, kind of depends upon where they feel most at home. But everyone is being moved over as a parishioner straight into St. Henry's, and so unless they request otherwise. So
now, is that your congregation as well?
Yeah.
Over at St. Henry's?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good to hear that the kids are going to be involved here.
Yeah.
If anybody wants any more information, Father Joe, can you give a shout out on a number?
Sure. You can call 346-4240.
Okay.
And give us a call.
Okay, very good. And somebody can answer your questions.
Yeah.
So October 4th, 11 o'clock, final Mass from St. Stan's. They're going to lock the doors. Make sure you're going to be here. It sounds like it's going to be exciting to open that time capsule, too.
Yeah, that will be a great thing. But, also, like you say, a sad event.
But I know. Yeah, bittersweet.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for being with us on the Perham Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in as well.